It is September 11th, 2001, and America's worst nightmare is about to unfold. At 8:46 in the morning, Al-Qaeda terrorists overtook American Airlines Flight 11, crashing it into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. Only 17 minutes later, United Airlines Flight 175 impacted the South Tower. The world looked on in disbelief as they started to realize this wasn't a coincidence, but rather an attack. Nobody could believe it, and it all felt like a terrible nightmare. Only 34 minutes after the previous two attacks, American Airlines Flight 77 collided into the Pentagon. This is when the FAA officially shut down the airspace and all currently flying planes were grounded. And shortly after that, American Airlines Flight 93 crashed into a field in Somerset County, Pennsylvania. These attacks showed a massive issue of national security in regards to transportation and public safety, with 9/11 being the single largest terrorist attack in world history. There was an estimated 3,000 people killed and over 6,000 injured in the span of hours. We as a nation needed to do something. We had sectors of the government that would fight terrorist attacks similar to this, but there was little to no communication and coordination between any of them. Because of this, the Department of Homeland Security was initiated and created. The Department of Homeland Security, or DHS for short, was created when George Bush signed the Homeland Security Act of 2002. The DHS was created in direct response and succession to the attacks of September 11th, and the whole point of the DHS was created to combat terrorism, but it went deeper than that, because most of the terrorist fighting sections of the government needed some unity, and having a singular entity that was dedicated to this was greatly beneficial for the government itself and the nation's people. As y'all probably have guessed by now, the DHS's main goal is to fight terrorism and protect the country. They do this by developing and coordinating national strategies to protect against terrorism, making sure we're ready to detect, prevent, prepare for, respond to, and recover from terrorist attacks, and coordinating efforts to ensure national security. The DHS does this by having multiple different agencies that's goals are specific to a certain function of public safety. Out of all of these agencies, the most famous, most notable, and probably what you all know what the DHS for are the TSA, Transportation Security Administration, FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, CBP, Customs and Border Protection, USSS, United States Secret Service, USCG, the United States Coast Guard, and CISA, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency. And all of these agencies, now united, form the backbone of the Department of Homeland Security today. Today, over 20 years later, the DHS is one of the largest federal agencies in the United States, with over 240,000 employees working to protect the U.S. Its mission now even expands far beyond terrorism, with the current-day DHS addressing cyber attacks, natural disasters, pandemic response, infrastructure protection, border security, and even election security. Most of us encounter the DHS agencies far more than we realize every time we pass through TSA checkpoints, when FEMA responds to hurricane or wildfires, the Coast Guard rescuing people at sea, or intercepting drug shipments. These are all just a handful of the DHS's functions on a day-to-day basis in our society. We oftentimes don't even realize or know that we are interacting with the Homeland Security in lots of these instances. And the once scattered agencies now operate with coordinated strategies and shared resources designed to protect Americans both at home and abroad. But with the creation of such a large entity such as the DHS, came with the inevitable controversy. Over the years, the Department of Homeland Security has faced quite a bit of intense criticism for some of its actions, policies, and the ways that it has handled some of the situations that have fallen in its hands. One of the earliest and most notorious examples was in 2005, when the FEMA, a major agency under the DHS, was heavily criticized for its slow, chaotic, and unprepared response to the Hurricane Katrina in the New Orleans area. Entire communities in New Orleans and along the Gulf Coast were left without aid for days, and the federal government failed to act swiftly, causing many lives and eroding public trust. Years later, during the 2018 immigration crisis, DHS faced national and international backlash for its family separation policy at the US-Mexico border. Thousands of children were separated from their parents under a zero-tolerance immigration enforcement strategy carried out by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, and Customs and Border Protection, or CBP, so it was a mix between two agencies. The images of young children in detention facilities shocked the world, leading to protests and lawsuits against these couple departments. In 2022, during the wave of national protests following the death of George Floyd, DHS deployed federal officers, many of them in unmarked vehicles, in Portland, Oregon, and other cities. Protesters were detained without clear identification or charges, sparking heated debates over government overreach, abuse of power, and militarization of domestic law enforcement. The department has also faced criticism for surveillance programs monitoring protesters, journalists, and even everyday citizens, raising concerns about privacy rights and government transparency, with, America being the free country, then what's up with all the spying, basically. And additionally, the agency's use of no-fly list and secret watch list has drawn kind of scrutiny for lack of due process and accountability. Each of these controversies has reignited ongoing debates about the delicate balance between security and freedom, and how far a government can go for national security while keeping the freedom of its people. At its core, the Department of Homeland Security was born out of tragedy. It was created to make sure that what happened on September 11, 2001 would never happen again. And while it has succeeded preventing similar large-scale attacks, it has also faced difficult questions on how much power any agency should have in the name of national security. Today, the DHS stands as a reminder of both our nation's vulnerabilities and our determination to protect what matters most. Its work isn't just about fighting terrorism anymore, it's about defending the country against threats in any form it might take. And as technology, politics, and the world continue to evolve, so will the Department of Homeland Security and the conversations about how to keep a nation both safe and free. Thanks for listening. God bless, and peace.